Normandy, France, July 14th, 1944, 0847 hours. The hedgerow country of Normandy is a maze built by God and refined by 10 centuries of friendship. Ancient stone walls draped in ivy so thick you could hide a tank behind it. Sunken lanes carved by cartwheels and erosion, some so deep a man can walk through them and never be seen from 20 feet away. Trees planted in neat rows by long dead hands now grown wild and massive, their canopies merging into a single dark ceiling that filters the morning sunlight into thin, dusty beams that look almost holy. It is beautiful in the way that dangerous things are beautiful. Like a wolf, like a cliff edge, like the sea before a storm. The bocage has become a graveyard. Every hedge conceals a German machine gun nest. Every field is presided for artillery. Every intersection is a killing zone. The American advance that roared off the beaches of Normandy 6 weeks ago has slowed to a crawl here. Not because the Germans are stronger, but because the terrain makes every 100 yards a separate battle, a separate hell. This morning the bocage is quiet, too quiet. The birds have fled, the insects are silent, even the wind seems to hold its breath. This is the silence that comes before death. A German patrol moves along the base of a hedge wall. 12 men from the 12th SS Panzer Division, young lions. Teenagers and 20-somethings who believe they are invincible because they have survived things that should have killed them. They have fought through the frozen hell of the Eastern Front. They have endured the British artillery barrages that shake the earth like earthquakes. They know the sounds of war. They know the shriek of a Typhoon fighter diving with rockets blazing. They know the distinct rattle of Sherman tank treads on cobblestone. They know the whine of the Nebelwerfer rockets the Americans call screaming Mimis. Noise is the harbinger of death in this war. Noise gives you warning. Noise lets you dive for cover. Noise lets you survive. But here in this sunken lane, there is only silence. The point man is Corporal Friedrich Baumann, 23 years old, from Hamburg. Engaged to a girl named Greta who works in a munitions factory and writes him letters about what their apartment will look like after the war. He has survived Stalingrad. He has survived Kursk. He truly believes that he can survive anything because he has already survived the worst. He pauses to adjust his helmet strap. The leather has been digging into his jaw all morning. He scans the tree line 300 yards to the west. His eyes are practiced, trained, looking for the things that do not belong, the glint of metal, the unnatural straight line, the shadow that moves when it should not. He sees nothing. The poplars sway gently in the summer breeze. The grass is tall and golden. The air smells of crushed wildflowers and old stone and something sweet he cannot quite identify. Later he will learn it is cider apples rotting in the July heat in abandoned orchards. But he will never get the chance to learn this because he has 37 seconds left to live. He turns back to his squad, opens his mouth to signal the advance. His head explodes, not metaphorically, not dramatically, literally. One moment there is a human head atop human shoulders. The next moment there is a cavity, a void, and meat and bone and brain matter spraying across the ancient stone wall behind him in a pattern that looks almost like abstract art. His body does not crumple gracefully like in the movies. It simply stops being vertical and becomes horizontal, like a marionette whose strings have been cut all at once. His Kar 98K rifle clatters on the cobblestones. His helmet, no longer attached to anything, rolls into a ditch and settles at an angle that would be comical if this were not so horrifying. For 3 full heartbeats, perhaps 4 seconds of actual time, the remaining 11 German soldiers do not move. They stand frozen, their minds trying to process what their eyes have just witnessed. Because men do not simply die like this. Death announces itself. Death comes with warning. Artillery screams as it falls, bombs whistle. Machine guns chatter. Even rifle fire from close range gives you the crack of the shot before the bullet arrives. But this was just sudden absence, existence and then non-existence with nothing in between. Then the second shot arrives. The radio man, a boy of 19 named Klaus, who has been carrying the heavy radio for 8 months and has begun to think of it as his good luck charm because he has never been hit while carrying it, suddenly has his chest cave inward. The impact is so violent it lifts him off his feet and throws him backward 3 meters. His radio equipment shatters against the ground. The frequency selector knob breaks off and rolls into a wheel rut filled with yesterday's rainwater where it will remain for 79 years. Until a French farmer plows this field in 2023 and finds it and wonders what war this relic belongs to. Now the panic is immediate, contagious, absolute. The Germans scatter. They dive for the ditch on the south side of the lane. They press their bodies into the mud with a desperation that transcends training and enters pure animal survival instinct. They do not return fire because there is nothing to fire at. There is no muzzle flash, no smoke, no sound, no direction to orient on. They are fighting a ghost. One of the young privates, 17 years old, lied about his age to enlist. Still has acne on his cheeks, grips his rifle with hands that shake so badly he cannot keep the barrel steady. His breathing comes in short gasps that sound like sobs. He whispers the words that have begun to circulate through the Wehrmacht ranks in Normandy like a virus, like a plague, like a curse. Die Erscheinung. The apparition. The older sergeant beside him, a veteran of 31 who has seen too much, hisses at him to shut up, to stay quiet. But the sergeant's own voice trembles when he speaks, because he has heard the stories too, has seen the intelligence reports, has read the after-action summaries from other units. There is something hunting them in Normandy, something that kills from impossible distances with impossible accuracy. Something that appears and disappears like smoke. The reports vary. Some say it is a squad of elite American snipers. Others say it is a single shooter with supernatural abilities. A few even whisper that it is a woman, though everyone agrees that is impossible because Americans do not send women to combat. The truth, as always, is simpler and more terrifying than myth. 800 yards west, same moment. Wren Ashford watches through her rifle scope as the Germans huddle in the ditch like frightened rabbits. Her heartbeat pulses in her ears at exactly 42 beats per minute. 42. She knows this because she has trained herself to count, to monitor, to control every single aspect of her body, because when you are a sniper, your body is not a temple. It is a precision instrument, and instruments must be calibrated. Her breathing is so shallow that if you held a feather 6 inches from her nostrils, it would not flutter. She has been lying in this exact position for 11 hours and 14 minutes. Not approximately 11 hours, exactly 11 hours and 14 minutes. She knows because she has been counting that too. Counting helps. Counting keeps the mind sharp. Counting prevents the creep of doubt. She has not moved in all that time, not to stretch cramping muscles, not to relieve the pressure building in her bladder, not to shift her weight from the small rock that has been digging into her left hip for the past 6 hours, not even to blink unnecessarily. Every blink is calculated, timed, minimized. This is what her father taught her in the Alaska wilderness when she was 6 years old and the snow was so deep it came up to her waist. You want to survive. You become stone. Stone does not move. Stone does not complain. Stone does not need. She is 28 years old, 5'7", 132 pounds of muscle and bone and will, that has been forged in the coldest wilderness in America and tempered in the hottest war in human history. Her dark hair is cropped short, chopped with scissors in a field bathroom 3 weeks ago, uneven and practical. Her eyes are the pale blue of Alaskan glacial ice, the kind of blue that looks almost white in certain light, the kind of blue that makes people uncomfortable when she looks directly at them because those eyes do not seem entirely human. Her face is painted with mud, not randomly, not sloppily. Each streak is deliberate, breaking up the recognizable patterns of human features. The shadow of the eye socket deepened, the line of the jaw obscured, the geometry of the skull negated. She does not look like a person. She looks like terrain. Her body is wrapped in a ghillie suit she has been modifying for 3 months. The base is standard issue burlap, but she has woven into it grass from this specific field, leaves from these specific trees, even dirt from this specific region, because the dirt in Normandy is a different color than the dirt in Italy, and if you get it wrong, you stand out. Every piece of vegetation is fresh, replaced daily, because dead grass turns brown and brown stands out against green, and standing out means dying. She is invisible, not camouflaged, invisible. There is a difference. Camouflage is a pattern that tricks the eye. Invisibility is becoming part of the landscape so completely that the eye does not register you as separate from it. Through her rifle scope, a number 32 telescopic sight mounted on her Lee Enfield number 4 Make T. She studies the Germans in the ditch, counts them, 6 men remaining, all terrified, all scanning the wrong tree line. They think the shots came from the east because that is where American forces are supposed to be. They are wrong. She is west, behind their expected lines, has been here since 2100 hours last night, infiltrated through their own territory in darkness. This is what separates her from regular infantry snipers. Regular snipers shoot from their own lines, hunt forward. She hunts from behind, circles, becomes part of enemy territory, and then kills them from within their own safe spaces. She could kill all 6 right now, has the skill, has the ammunition, has the position. Her Lee Enfield holds 10 rounds in the magazine. 6 targets, 4 rounds to spare. The range is long, 800 yards, but she has made longer shots. The wind is calm, maybe 3 miles per hour from the south. Negligible. The targets are stationary, bunched together. Classic mistake, but she does not fire. Instead, she eases backward. 1 inch, stops, waits 30 seconds. Another inch, stop, wait. The movement is glacial, imperceptible. It takes her 23 minutes to move 12 feet. Then, still prone, she begins a slow combat crawl through the grass. Not the rapid leopard crawl taught in basic training. The hunter's stalk, the kind where you move with the wind, where you freeze when birds take flight, where you become one with the ground itself. She flows through the bocage like smoke, like shadow, like a ghost that was never really there. Gone. The Germans will remain in that ditch for 4 hours and 18 minutes, too terrified to move, too terrified to call for help, because calling for help means using the radio, and the radio man is dead and his equipment is shattered, and even if it was not using a radio means raising your head above the ditch line, and raising your head means dying. When they finally work up the courage to crawl, not walk, crawl back to their command post 2 kilometers away, they will report to their commanding officer that they were ambushed by at least 20 American snipers operating in coordinated teams. They will say the Americans have somehow infiltrated behind German lines. They will recommend the entire sector be declared extreme threat and recommend no patrols smaller than platoon strength. The report will make its way up the chain of command. Wehrmacht intelligence will add it to the growing file of similar reports from 17 different sectors in Normandy. They will use red pins on a map to mark locations. They will calculate fields of fire. They will estimate minimum force strength required to achieve the observed effects. They will conclude that the Americans have deployed a specialized sniper unit. Minimum strength 24 personnel. Possibly more, highly trained, utilizing tactics never before seen on the Western Front. They will be wrong, catastrophically wrong. The actual number is 4. 4 people, 1 team, 1 woman who learned to shoot before she learned to read. Three men who learn to follow her lead, and together they are breaking the Wehrmacht's spine one shot at a time. Open loop number 1. In the next 6 weeks, German reports will describe elite sniper attacks from 23 different sectors across Normandy. They will calculate required force strength at 40-plus shooters. They will divert resources. They will implement counter-sniper protocols. They will send their best hunters to hunt the hunters. And when they finally understand, really understand what they are facing, it will be too late. The ghosts will have already won. Khan Sector, 1600 hours, same day. Master Sergeant Silas Drummond is 42 years old and built like the Wyoming Bears that gave him his nickname. Not tall, 5'10", but broad through the shoulders and chest. Hands that look like they were carved from oak. Scarred knuckles from ranch work and bar fights and the 100 small violences of a hard life. Face weathered by 30 years of sun and wind and 24 years of hard living before the war. Deep lines around his eyes, not from smiling, from squinting at horizons, from watching things far away. He crouches behind a stone wall that is older than the United States of America, probably older than the idea of the United States. Built by French peasants 400 years ago to mark property boundaries. Now marking the boundary between life and death. Through binoculars, he studies a German observation post 460 yards distant. The post is good, well sighted. Elevated ground, clear fields of fire in 3 directions, camouflaged with netting and local vegetation. Professional work. The kind of position that would take a full infantry assault to dislodge and would cost a dozen men to capture. 4 Germans visible. 1 officer recognizable by the binoculars around his neck and the way the others defer to him. 1 spotter with map and compass, 2 riflemen providing security. They have been calling in artillery strikes on American positions for 3 days. 17 men killed, 41 wounded, 3 supply trucks destroyed, 1 field hospital hit, 2 medics dead. That ends today. Beside Drummond, Corporal Flint Garrett checks his M1 Garand rifle for the 3rd time. Garrett is 29 years old, Montana ranch country, lean and hard like wind-carved stone. His face is all angles, sharp nose, prominent cheekbones, eyes that burn with a constant low-grade anger that never quite goes out. His younger brother died in the Bataan Death March. Starved, beaten, executed. Garrett does not talk about it, does not need to. The rage is always there, visible. A fire that fuels him, that will probably consume him someday, but today it makes him very good at killing Germans. He works the action of his Garand, smooth, practiced, the distinctive metallic click-clack. How long we waiting? Until she's ready, Drummond says without lowering the binoculars. To Drummond's left, Private Ronan Vale is doing what Ronan Vale does better than any man Drummond has ever seen. He is disappearing. Vale is 26 years old, Pacific Northwest, Seattle area originally, but spent the last 8 years before the war trapping in the Cascade Mountains. 6 months at a time alone in the wilderness. He is average height, average build, average brown hair, average features, the kind of face you would forget 10 seconds after seeing it. This ordinariness is his superpower. He does not stand out, does not register. The human eye slides right past him even when he is standing in plain sight. But right now he is not standing in plain sight. He is sitting cross-legged on the ground 15 feet from Drummond, and he is weaving. His hands move with the practiced efficiency of a basket maker, taking burlap from a discarded sandbag, weaving in grass, weaving in small branches, weaving in leaves, creating a ghillie suit in real time. 15 minutes ago, he was a man sitting on the ground. Now he is a bush. An unremarkable tangle of vegetation that your eyes would pass over without a second thought. He does not speak, just works, weaving, blending, becoming. The 4th member of their team is already in position. Has been for 9 hours. Drummond keys his radio, 2 clicks, precise, deliberate, then releases the key and waits. Silence. 5 seconds. 10, 15, then 2 clicks come back. Precise, deliberate. Wren is ready. Drummond checks his watch. Belova military issue. 16:04 hours. He gives the signal. 1 sharp hand gesture. Execute. Garrett moves first, not toward the German observation post, but away from it. Lateral movement. 30 yards to the south, he finds a position behind a fallen tree. Sights downrange at nothing in particular. And fires. Twice. The Garand barks. Loud. Distinctive. The specific sound that experienced soldiers recognize instantly as American. The shots go nowhere near the Germans. That is not the point. The point is noise. The point is muzzle flash. The point is drawing attention. It works. In the German observation post, all 4 men turn toward the sound. The officer raises his binoculars, the spotter points, the riflemen bring their Kar 98Ks to ready. They are focused, alert, prepared. They are looking in exactly the wrong direction. Vale rises, except rise is the wrong word. He does not rise like a man rises. He materializes like shadow gaining substance, like thought becoming real. One moment there is vegetation. The next moment there is a man-shaped piece of vegetation moving forward. He advances 20 yards, slow, smooth, no sudden movements. The Germans are 60 yards away now, looking in the opposite direction. They do not see him. Cannot see him. He is not camouflaged. He is the landscape. And Wren fires. The sound reaches Drummond's position 1.4 seconds after the bullet arrives at the target. The distinctive crack of a .303 British round breaking the sound barrier. But by the time the sound arrives, the German officer is already falling. The bullet entered through his left eye socket, traveling at 440 feet per second. Hydrostatic shock caused his brain to liquefy inside his skull. He was dead before his neurons could fire the signal that he had been shot. Dead before pain. Dead before fear. Dead before his body understood it was dead. This is the mercy of the expert sniper. Death so fast you do not feel it coming. The spotter turns, confused. Where did the officer go? Why is he on the ground? What is that red mist hanging in the air? Wren's second shot takes the spotter through the throat. The bullet severs his carotid artery and spine simultaneously. He drops like a rag doll, still alive for 2.3 seconds, brain still functioning, but body no longer responding to commands. He dies confused, wondering what happened. The third shot kills the rifleman who is reaching for his weapon. Center mass, through the heart, instant. The last German, a boy who looks no older than 17 with soft features and fear in his eyes, throws down his Kar 98K. Both hands shoot into the air. He screams, one word over and over. Kamerad, 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 surrender. Wren holds fire. 83 seconds, from first shot to last, 3 dead, 1 prisoner, 0 American casualties. Vale emerges from the vegetation like a ghost gaining form. He secures the prisoner, zip ties, quick pat down. The boy is crying, shaking, talking rapidly in German. Vale does not speak German, but he understands fear in any language. Garrett provides overwatch, his Garand tracking, looking for threats. Drummond moves up to the observation post. Fast but cautious, checks the 3 bodies, confirms dead, then focuses on intelligence. Maps, radio codes, artillery plot sheets, the good stuff. He photographs everything with a small Kodak camera. The film will be developed in London. The intelligence will be analyzed. The information will be used to predict German defensive positions for the next offensive. This intelligence will save hundreds of Allied lives. 3 dead Germans. Intelligence that will save hundreds. This is the mathematics of war. The brutal calculus, the exchange rate of blood for blood. Wren appears from a depression 400 yards away. She had been lying in a flooded shell crater, waist deep in stagnant water, for 9 hours. Her ghillie suit is caked with filth. mud, algae, things that used to be alive. Her face is streaked with muck. She looks like something that crawled out of a medieval plague swamp. Garrett stares at her, shakes his head slowly. Jesus, Wraith. 9 hours in that 11, she corrects. Her voice is flat, emotionless. Been here since 0500. I couldn't make those shots. Because you would have tried 6 hours ago. It is not a boast. It is simply fact, stated in the same tone you would say water is wet or the sky is blue. Garrett understands this, nods, no offense taken. Drummond finishes photographing the intelligence, pockets the camera, looks at his team, his people, his pack. Good work, all of you. Vale turned the prisoner over to G2. Garrett policed the brass. Wraith. He pauses, looks at her, really looks. Get cleaned up. You look like hell. I feel like hell. Good, means you're alive. Dead people don't feel anything. They extract, moving fast now. The shots will have been heard. Germans will investigate. Time to be gone before that happens. As they move through the bocage, Drummond radios in the success. The response comes back immediately. Command wants them to repeat. Same tactic, different sector. Tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that. Because this is what is working. This is what is breaking the Wehrmacht. Not overwhelming firepower, not technological superiority, not the weight of American industry. But 4 people who learned to hunt in the American wilderness and brought those skills to Europe and are now applying them to the business of war. Be patient, be still, be invisible, and when you shoot, do not miss. These principles are older than civilization, older than armies, older than nations. These are the principles that have allowed humans to survive for 200,000 years. The principles of the hunter, the predator. The Germans have tanks and artillery and tactical doctrine developed by Prussia's greatest military minds. Wren Ashford has patience and a rifle and the lessons her father taught her in the snow when she was 6 years old. And in this bocage, in this war, her lessons are proving superior. Cliffhanger number 1, minute 20. That night in a concrete bunker 12 miles away, a German communications officer decrypts an urgent message from Berlin. The message is addressed to all Wehrmacht units in France. It contains 3 items. First, a directive. Second, a photograph. Third, a name. The directive, highest priority. All resources authorized. No restrictions. The photograph, 4 blurry figures. One noticeably smaller than the others. Female. The name Hauptmann Klaus Steiner. 347 confirmed kills. Eastern Front. Mission Operation Totenstille Death Silence. Objective locate and eliminate American specialized sniper element. Time frame immediate. The communications officer stares at the photograph for a long moment. Then he picks up the field telephone and begins making calls. Within 6 hours, every German unit in Normandy will receive the briefing. Within 12 hours, soldiers will be whispering the name in foxholes and bunkers. Within 24 hours, the hunter will arrive, and the ghosts, for the first time since landing in France, will become the hunted. Berlin, Germany, July 20th, 1944, 0900 hours. The briefing room in Wehrmacht High Command is located 3 floors below street level. No windows. Gray concrete walls that sweat condensation. A single table made of scarred oak that has seen 1,000 tactical discussions. Maps spread across it like the internal organs of a dying beast. Red pins marking Allied positions. Black pins marking German defensive lines. The red advances, the black retreats. The pattern is unmistakable to anyone who understands the language of war. The room smells of cigarette smoke and desperation, and the peculiar mustiness that comes from being underground too long. 5 officers stand around the table. They do not speak. They wait. Their uniforms are immaculate despite the deteriorating situation. Pride is the last thing German officers surrender. The door opens. Hauptmann Klaus Steiner enters. He does not stride. He does not march. He simply walks with the quiet economy of movement that comes from a man who has spent years learning to waste nothing. Not energy, not motion, not breath. He is 41 years old, 5'9", 168 pounds, average in every measurable way. His hair is dark brown, going gray at the temples. His face is unremarkable. Narrow nose, thin lips, pale blue eyes that are his only distinctive feature. The kind of blue that looks almost colorless in certain light, like ice, like distance, like the sky at altitude where the air is too thin to breathe. You could pass Klaus Steiner on a Berlin street and not look twice. You would forget his face 10 seconds after seeing it. This ordinariness is his greatest tactical advantage. He is forgettable, invisible, the kind of man who can stand in a crowd and disappear into it simply by existing. But the Knight's Cross at his throat. Oak leaves, swords, and diamonds tells a different story. It is the third highest military decoration in the Wehrmacht. Earned not through politics or connections, but through 347 confirmed kills. 347 Soviet snipers. Shot, killed, catalogued, verified. He is the most successful sniper in Wehrmacht history, and possibly the most dangerous man in the room. The senior officer, a colonel with an iron cross and tired eyes, slides a folder across the table. The folder is thick, too thick. Bad news is always thick. Hauptmann Steiner, welcome. Your record on the Eastern Front is exemplary. We have read your after-action reports with great interest. Steiner nods once, says nothing. Words are like ammunition. You do not waste them. The colonel continues. We have a problem in France, Normandy sector specifically. An American sniper, female, possibly part of a larger unit. She has killed 73 of our personnel in 6 weeks, officers, radio operators, specialists, high-value targets exclusively. He taps the folder. She is systematically destroying our command and control structure in multiple sectors. The psychological impact is severe. Units are refusing patrols. Officers are removing rank insignia. Morale is collapsing in affected areas. Steiner opens the folder, does not rush, reads methodically, kill locations, times, ranges, weather conditions, target types. He reads like a man studying an opponent's chess games, looking for patterns, for tells, for the small mistakes that separate the good from the excellent. 5 minutes pass, no one speaks. They let him read. You do not interrupt Klaus Steiner when he is working. Finally, he closes the folder, looks up. His pale eyes scan the faces around the table. This is not a unit. This is one person. The colonel frowns. The reports suggest multiple snipers, different sectors, simultaneous attacks in some cases. No. Steiner's voice is quiet but absolute. He opens the folder again, points to a map. Look at the pattern. Every engagement extreme range 600 to 1,000 meters. Immediate withdrawal after firing. No follow-up shots, no aggressive pursuit, no attempt to hold ground. His finger traces a line connecting kill sites. This is not a soldier's pattern. This is a hunter's pattern. I do not understand the distinction. Steiner looks at the colonel, those pale eyes showing something that might be pity. A soldier fights to win. A soldier takes ground, holds positions, pursues advantages, but a hunter, he pauses. A hunter fights to survive. A hunter kills and vanishes, over and over. The goal is not victory. The goal is to remain alive long enough to kill again tomorrow. He closes the folder. This American she hunts. She does not fight, and that requires a completely different mindset. Different tactics, different psychology. Another officer speaks up, younger, more aggressive. With respect, Hauptmann, how can you be certain it is one person? The field reports clearly state. Field reports are written by terrified soldiers who just watched their friends die from invisible threats. They exaggerate. They see patterns that are not there. They try to make sense of chaos by creating explanations. Steiner taps the folder. But the data does not lie. Look at the ammunition. Every kill is 303 British. Same ballistic signature, same shooting style, same patience. One shooter, perhaps with support team for observation and security, but one shooter. The colonel nods slowly. And you believe you can stop her? I will kill her. Not I can. Not I will try. Simply I will. The colonel studies Steiner's face. Sees no doubt, no hesitation. Just the cold certainty of a man who has done impossible things 347 times and expects to do it again. Very well. You have authorization for Operation Totenstill Death Silence. Choose your team, 6 men maximum. You will have complete tactical autonomy, no interference from local command. You report directly to this office. Your mission is simple: find the American Ghost. Eliminate her and her team by any means necessary. I will need access to intelligence files. Every report, every photograph, every intercepted communication. Granted. And I will need maps, detailed, 1 to 10,000 scale, topographical, with current Allied positions marked. Granted. And one more thing. Steiner picks up the folder again, opens it to a blurry photograph. 4 figures. American uniforms, one noticeably smaller than the others. I will need more photographs, better quality. I want to see their faces, their equipment, their body language, everything. Why? Steiner's thin lips curve into something that is not quite a smile. Because you cannot hunt what you do not understand, and I intend to understand her very well before I kill her. He stands, salutes with Prussian precision, turns to leave. The colonel calls after him. Hauptmann, intelligence suggests she may be the best sniper the Americans have deployed. Are you confident you can succeed where 3 previous counter-sniper teams have failed? Steiner pauses at the door, does not turn around. I have killed 347 snipers. Many of them were excellent, skilled, experienced. Veterans of wars I will never see, Soviet women who had hundreds of kills, men who had survived years on the Eastern Front. Now he looks back, those pale eyes catching the light. But they all made the same mistake. They thought being good was enough. It is not. You must be better than your opponent's best day on your worst day. I am always better. He leaves. The door closes. The colonel stares at the closed door for a long moment, then mutters to the empty room, God help the Americans. But God is not in France, only ghosts, and the hunt is about to begin. Normandy, July 28, 1944, 2100 hours, 8 days later. Ren Ashford lies in a flooded shell crater. The water is chest deep, 47 degrees Fahrenheit, cold enough to kill you through hypothermia in 6 hours, cold enough to make your hands shake, cold enough to degrade fine motor control, cold enough to make shooting accurately almost impossible. She has been here for 14 hours. The water smells of diesel fuel and decomposition and the chemical sweetness of explosive residue. There are things floating in it. She tries not to think about what they are. Tries not to think about the fact that some of them bump against her body. Tries not to think about anything except the crosshairs in her scope and the target area 600 yards distant. Through the scope, she watches a German supply depot, trucks, fuel drums, ammunition crates stacked in neat pyramids, and targets. 12 men visible, 3 officers identified by binoculars and the way others defer to them. 2 radio men identified by the antenna whips poking from their backpacks. 7 laborers moving supplies, standard target priority officers first, then radio men, Then exit before the laborers understand what is happening. Her finger rests on the trigger, breathing controlled, slow, shallow. Heartbeat steady at 44 beats per minute, slightly elevated from the cold, still acceptable, still within parameters. She begins to apply pressure to the trigger. The Lee Enfield has a 4-pound pull, smooth, predictable. She has fired this specific rifle so many times she knows exactly how it will break. Exactly when the sear will release, exactly how the recoil will feel. 2 pounds of pressure. 3. Beginning the final squeeze. And something in her peripheral vision moves wrong. Not the movement itself. Movement is everywhere on a battlefield, trucks moving, men walking, smoke drifting, but this movement is wrong. It has hesitation, unnatural pause, the way a man moves when he is trying very hard not to move, the way prey moves when it knows predator is near. Ren freezes, does not complete the trigger pull, her eyes still looking through the scope shift focus, not to the target area but to the wrongness, 620 yards, 15 degrees right of her primary target. A pile of rubble that looks exactly like what it should be, a pile of rubble. Collapsed wall. Broken timbers, nothing unusual. Except one shadow is too deep, one angle too precise, one shape too geometric for random destruction. A hide, a sniper position, professional work, carefully constructed, camouflaged, almost invisible, almost. Ren shifts her scope. Slowly, glacially, the kind of slow that takes 20 seconds to move 3 degrees, studies the position, sees nothing, but the wrongness remains, the feeling you get when you are being watched, when you are in someone's crosshairs. She makes a decision, does not take the shot. Instead, she releases the trigger pressure, relaxes her grip, and begins to ease backward in the crater. 1 inch. Stop. Wait 30 seconds. Another inch. Stop. Wait. It takes 10 minutes to move 3 feet. Then she submerges, completely holds her breath. The water closes over her head, cold, filthy. She can feel things brushing against her face, does not think about what they are, counts 1, 2, 3, 60 surfaces, breathes through a hollow reed, a trick her father taught her for hunting waterfowl in Alaska lakes. Submerges again. She does this 4 times. Creating the impression of movement, of retreat, of someone extracting from the position. But she does not retreat. Instead, she uses the crater as cover, moves underwater to the far side, repositions to a completely different angle. Now she can see both her original firing position and the suspicious pile of rubble, and she waits. 30 minutes pass, 45, 1 hour. Then a shape rises from the rubble pile. Slow, cautious, professional. A man in a ghillie suit that is better than anything Ren has seen. Not American, not British, German. The construction is different, tighter, more disciplined. This is not improvised fieldcraft. This is specialized training. He scans the crater where Ren had been, sees nothing, relaxes fractionally. A micro-tell, shoulders dropping perhaps 2 degrees. Enough! Through her scope, Ren sees his face, older than expected, 40, maybe 45, weathered, calm. No rank insignia visible, but command presence is unmistakable. This is not a conscript, this is a professional, an expert, a peer. She could take the shot, should take the shot. Center mass, 620 yards, stationary target, wind calm, easy. But instinct stops her. The same instinct that has kept her alive for 3 years of war. The same instinct that told her not to fire in the first place. If he is here, if he is this good, then he is not alone. She stays in the water, stays hidden, watches him watch her former position. He waits, patient, disciplined. 20 minutes, 30. Then he signals, hand gesture, subtle, professional. And 5 more shapes rise from concealment, from positions Ren had not identified, had not even suspected. 6 men total, all in ghillie suits, all moving with the precision of experienced hunters. A full counter-sniper team, professional, coordinated, deadly, and they are hunting her. Ren's heart rate increases, 50 beats per minute. 60, 70, not panic but recognition. She has been hunted before. By Germans, by isolated snipers, but never like this. Never by a full team that moves like ghosts. That thinks like she thinks, that hunts like she hunts. This is different, this is dangerous. She submerges again, stays underwater as long as her lungs allow, surfaces only when black spots dance at the edges of her vision. Breathes through the reed, shallow, quiet, submerges. The German team sweeps the area, methodical, thorough. They check her original position, find nothing. She is underwater, breathing through a reed, a ghost invisible even to ghost hunters. After 70 minutes they withdraw, but Ren knows this is not over. They will be back. They are not giving up. They are adapting, learning, changing their tactics. She waits another 2 hours until full darkness, until she is certain they are gone. Then she extracts, moving through the bocage with extreme caution, every sense alert, every shadow suspicious. She reaches the rally point at 02:30 hours. Drummond takes one look at her and knows something is wrong. What happened? They tried to trap me. Her voice is flat, exhausted. Counter-sniper team, 6 men, professional, German. They knew where I would be. They knew how I would set up. They know my patterns. Garrett swears, long, creative, using words he learned in Montana cattle camps. Vale speaks quietly, always quiet. They studied us. Like we study them, someone smart is hunting the hunters. Drummond nods, thinks, his mind working through tactical problems. We adapt, change patterns, rotate positions, vary approach routes. No. Ren interrupts, shakes her head, water drips from her hair. She is shivering now, the adrenaline wearing off, the cold catching up. We cannot outthink someone who already knows how we think. We need to do something they will not expect. Like what? We become the bait. Open loop number 2. Later that night in a German bunker 6 kilometers away, Klaus Steiner cleans his rifle. Mauser Kar 98K. Modified, match-grade barrel, custom trigger, 347 kills with this weapon, 347 confirmed, perhaps twice that many unconfirmed. His team is asleep, exhausted from the stalk, from the hunt that produced no result. They think they failed today, but Steiner knows better. He smiles, thin, precise. She is good. He whispers to his rifle, to himself, to the darkness. Better than the reports suggested. She knew we were there, knew without seeing, instinct or experience, either way impressive. He runs a cleaning patch through the barrel. The ritual is soothing, familiar. But good is not enough. I have killed 347 who were good. Tomorrow we will try again, and the day after, and the day after, until she makes a mistake. Because everyone makes mistakes, even ghosts. He sets down the rifle. Picks up the folder, opens it to the blurry photograph, studies the small figure, the one who is different, who is female. I am coming for you, Geistfrau, and when I find you, it will be the last thing you see. Falaise Pocket, August 8, 1944, 11 days later. The plan is insane. Everyone agrees on this point, but insane is all they have left. Garrett will occupy an obvious sniper position, visible, inviting, the kind of position that screams sniper to anyone with basic tactical training. A bombed-out farmhouse, 2nd floor, window with excellent fields of fire. Too excellent, too obvious. Vale will provide close security, hidden nearby, ready to react. Ren and Drummond will occupy flanking positions. 400 yards out, hidden, invisible, creating a crossfire. If the German counter-sniper team approaches Garrett's position, they will be caught in the kill zone, the bait to catch the hunters. Garrett is not enthusiastic about his role, so I am the worm on the hook. Drummond nods. You are aggressive. You will sell it, make it look real. It is real. I will be actually shooting at actual Germans while they are actually trying to kill me. That is what makes it convincing. Garrett looks at Ren. studies her face, looking for reassurance. You better not miss. I never miss. There is a first time for everything. Not today. He wants to believe her, needs to believe her, because the alternative is dying in a farmhouse in France and having his body shipped home in a box with a flag on it and having his parents receive a telegram that starts with, "We regret to inform you." He takes the position. 0600 hours, moves into the farmhouse with deliberate visibility, not trying to hide, trying to be seen, trying to look like a skilled but not exceptional shooter who made the amateur mistake of choosing too good position. He sets up, Lee Enfield, scoped. He fires 3 shots at distant German positions, hits 2, misses 1 intentionally, creating the profile of competent but not expert, worth eliminating but not terrifying. Then he waits. Wren lies in a depression 400 yards northwest of Garrett's position. Invisible, patient, watching. Drummond occupies similar position 400 yards southeast. Mirror image, crossfire. 1 hour passes, 2, 3, 4, the sun climbs, temperature rises, 92 degrees Fahrenheit. Heat shimmer distorts the air, makes ranging difficult, makes shooting harder. Movement, finally, subtle, professional. 3 shapes moving through the bocage, using dead ground, staying low, approaching Garrett's position from the northwest, the direction Wren is covering. She watches through her scope, recognizes the lead figure, the older man from the crater. The professional, Steiner. Has to be. The way he moves, the way he leads, the absolute confidence. She keys her radio, 1 click. Drummond responds, 1 click, both in position. Both have targets. The German team stops, 600 yards from Garrett's farmhouse, sets up. Deliberate. Professional. 3 shooters, 1 spotter with rangefinder, 2 security elements watching flanks. But they are not watching the right flanks. They are oriented on the farmhouse, on the obvious threat, not on the hidden ones. The lead German Steiner raises his rifle, settles into shooting position, breathing control. Wren can see it even at this range, the way his shoulders settle, the way his body becomes stone. She centers her crosshairs on his chest, begins to squeeze the trigger. 2 pounds, 3, final pressure. Garrett's voice explodes over the radio, not words, just sound. Contact, 3 o'clock, contact, contact, contact. Gunfire erupts. Not from the German sniper team in front of Wren, but from a completely different direction, east. A flanking element that none of them detected. A second team. The trap was not for the Germans, the trap was for them. Wren spins. Wren acquires targets. Fires twice. 2 Germans drop, but more are coming. She sees muzzle flashes, hears the distinctive crack of rounds passing near her position. Incoming fire, accurate fire. Drummond is engaging, his M1 Garand barking in controlled 8-round bursts. Wraith exfil now! But Vale's voice cuts through, strained, pained, the sound of a man who has just been hit. Contact, I am hit, I am hit. Wren does not think, does not calculate, does not weigh options. She simply moves, rises from her hide, sprints toward Vale's position. Bullets kick up dirt around her feet, snapping through the air. 1 passes so close to her head she feels the pressure wave. Another tears through her sleeve, misses flesh by millimeters. She does not slow, does not dodge, just runs. Vale is down, 30 yards from Garrett's position, shoulder wound, blood spreading across his uniform. A lot of blood, too much blood. Garrett is already over him, firing controlled bursts with his Garand. Suppressing, buying time. Wren slides into cover beside them, assesses the wound through and through, clean entry and exit, missed the artery but hit muscle, bone intact. He will live if they can get him out. Can you move? Vale's face is white, sweating, lips tight with pain, but he nods. Not fast. Drummond crashes into their position, breathing hard, blood on his left arm, grazed, not serious. We are surrounded, 8, maybe 10, professional, coordinated. This was planned. They knew we would bait them, planned for it, counter-ambushed us. Garrett reloads, slams fresh clip into his Garand, the distinctive ping as the empty clip ejects. So what is the plan, Sarge? Wren looks at the situation. German positions, terrain, options, calculates. Smoke. Suppressing fire, I carry Vale. Garrett leads, Drummond covers rear, move in 30 seconds. Garrett pulls smoke grenades from his webbing. This is insane. It is all we have. He grins despite everything. Despite the bullets. Despite the blood. Despite the very high probability they are all about to die. He grins. Insane works for me. Drummond throws the first grenade. Gray smoke billows, thick, chemical. Garrett throws two more, east and west. The world disappears into acrid fog, and they run. Wren has Vale over her shoulder. Firemen's carry, 137 pounds of wounded soldier. She has strong years of Alaska wilderness training. But this is different. This is combat strength, adrenaline strength, fear strength. The strength that comes from knowing if you stop moving, you die. Garrett is ahead, firing blind into the smoke, not trying to hit targets, just making noise, creating confusion. Making the Germans keep their heads down. Drummond is behind. Garand empty. He switches to his .45 pistol, fires at shapes in the fog, hits something, maybe someone, hard to tell in smoke. They crash through hedges, stumble over bodies, living and dead both. The smoke is clearing, visibility improving. Bad, very bad. Wren sees the farmhouse, sees Garrett dive through a window, glass shattering. Sees Drummond turn and fire 3 more shots. Sees muzzle flash from German positions. And she sees him, the German sniper, the professional, Steiner, standing in the clearing, rifle raised. Aimed at Drummond, the shot he has been waiting for, clear, clean, fatal. Wren cannot stop, cannot drop Vale, cannot shoot, can only shout, down! Drummond drops, instantly, no hesitation, no thought, pure training. The German's shot passes over him, misses by inches. The bullet impacts the stone wall behind Drummond's position, chips flying. Wren keeps running, reaches the farmhouse, crashes through a door, lays Vale on the floor, turns. Garrett is already at a window, firing, methodical, controlled. Drummond crawls through another entrance, bleeding but alive. They hold. 10 minutes of continuous engagement. Germans trying to advance, being driven back by accurate fire. Smoke clearing. Situation deteriorating by the second, then Allied artillery opens up. Someone, probably Drummond on the radio during the chaos, called for fire support. Shells impact around the farmhouse. Not on them, but close, creating a protective barrier. The Germans withdraw, tactical retreat, silence. Drummond checks Vale. Bleeding has stopped. Pressure dressing holding. He will make it if we get him to medical. Garrett slumps against a wall. His hands are shaking. Adrenaline crash. That was too close. Way too close. Wren says nothing. She is thinking, analyzing, understanding the truth that changes everything. They knew. They knew our plan, knew we would set a trap, knew we would use bait. They planned for it, adapted, outthought us. Drummond nods slowly. Whoever is leading them? He is good as you. Wren meets his eyes. Better. Today he was better. It is the first time she has admitted this. The first time she has acknowledged that somewhere in this war there is someone who might be her equal, her superior. Her inevitable end. The war has changed. It is no longer hunter versus prey. It is hunter versus hunter, ghost versus ghost, predator versus predator, and only one can survive. Cliffhanger number 2. Minute 30. Field hospital. 3 hours later. Vale is stable, sedated, shoulder bandaged. He will live. But he is out of action for 3 weeks minimum. An intelligence officer arrives, young, breathless, urgent. He carries a folder stamped with red ink. Immediate. Priority 1. We decrypted German communications, he says, hands shaking slightly. The sniper hunting you, we have identification. He opens the folder, pulls out a photograph. German military portrait. A man in Wehrmacht uniform. Unremarkable face. Pale eyes. Knight's cross at throat. Below the photograph typed information. Steiner Klaus. Hauptmann. Age 41. Eastern Front veteran. Confirmed kills 347. Specialization counter-sniper operations. Current assignment Operation Totenstille Death Silence. Objective eliminate American specialized sniper element. Status active. Threat level extreme. Garrett stares at the photograph. At the number. 347. How do we fight someone with 347 kills? Wren takes the photograph, studies the face, the eyes, memorizing. The same way he fights us. We adapt. We learn. We become better. And if we cannot become better, she does not answer. Because there is no good answer, only truth. And truth is that if they cannot become better than Steiner's best day, they will die. Cut to Steiner in German bunker, cleaning his rifle, smiling. Tomorrow, he whispers, tomorrow I will find you, and this hunt will end. Field Hospital, August 10th, 1944, 1400 hours. The field hospital smells of ether and blood and disinfectant failing to mask death. Canvas walls billow in August heat. Flies everywhere. The sound is constant moans, prayers, occasional screams when morphine runs out. Ronan Vale lies on a cot, shoulder bandaged, face pale but alive. The bullet missed the artery, missed bone. He was lucky. The team sits vigil, not speaking, just present. This is what soldiers do, what family does. Vale's eyes open, morphine glazed. He sees them, tries to smile. Stop looking like I died. Garrett punches his good shoulder, gentle. You scared us, you bastard. Good, keeps you humble. But the smile fades. Fear replaces it. Did you see him, the German sniper? Wren nods. I saw him. He moves like you, patient, invisible. Vale swallows hard. I didn't see him until he fired, and I'm the scout. He has a team, Wren says quietly. 6 men, all skilled. We cannot fight them the way we have been. Drummond crosses his arms. So what do? We adapt. We stop being soldiers, go back to being hunters. Night falls. Wren sits outside the tent cleaning her rifle. Again. The ritual soothes, but her mind is on Steiner, on his 347 kills, on the fact that he has never been wounded and she barely escaped with her life. Drummond sits beside her, says nothing, just sits. Finally, Wren speaks. When your daughter died, how did you keep going? Drummond is quiet. Then I didn't, not for a while, just existed, got up, did chores, went to bed over and over. Eventually, the moving became living again. Does it still hurt? Every day, but the hurt reminds me she mattered. That love is real even when the person is gone. Wren continues cleaning. I dream about them. The ones I killed, the first one. I see his wife's photograph, wonder if she cries like I cried for my father. She cries, they all do. War makes widows. Is it worth it? Drummond looks at her. You saved Vale today, carried him under fire. Was that worth it? Yes. Then you have your answer. We kill so others live. We carry the weight so they don't have to. Wren whispers, I am afraid of him. Steiner. I have never been afraid like this. Because he might be better. Because he is better. Today proved it. Drummond's hand on her shoulder. Then find what he cannot match. What makes you unique? What if there is nothing? Then you die. And I kill him myself. He squeezes. But you will not die. Because you have something he does not. Family. He has professionals. You have brothers who would die for you. That is not training. That is love. And love fights harder than any doctrine. The words settle deep, true, undeniable. Steiner is a professional killer with professional killers, but Wren is Pack, his family, something older than military doctrine. This is her edge. October 18th, 1944. 70 days later. The airfield is packed dirt and steel planking. A C-47 sits on the runway, engines warming. Flint Garrett stands beside it, head bandaged, walking with a cane. The shell concussion destroyed his balance, his hearing. His war is over at 29. He tries to smile, fails. Finish this for me. Don't let that bastard win. Wren nods, cannot speak. And Wraith, don't die. That's an order from a brother, please. She hugs him, brief, fierce. Goodbye, Flint. Not goodbye. See you after. He climbs the steps. At the top he turns, salutes. They salute back. The plane lifts off, circles once, disappears into October clouds. The team is now 3, smaller, weaker, more vulnerable. Back at the bivouac, Vale speaks. We need to talk about Steiner. He's still hunting us. Drummond nods. He'll strike soon, knows we're vulnerable. Wren studies the map. We stop running. We challenge him directly. Make it personal. That's suicide. That's the only option. He hunts us. We hunt him. Someone blinks first. I'd rather it be on my terms. A messenger bursts in. Corporal Ashford, this was found on a German corpse, addressed to you. He hands her an envelope, blood-stained, muddy. She reads aloud, Geistfrau, I know your pattern, your team now too with the evacuation, your tactics, you are good, the best, but I am better. Meet me, grid reference attached. The old windmill, November 1st, 500 hours, come alone or I kill your family one by one. I know where they sleep, we settled this. Ghost to ghost, single combat, only one leaves alive. I have killed 347, you will be 348, and the best, respectfully, Hauptmann Klaus Steiner. Wren reads it twice. Heart racing. This is it, the final confrontation. Drummond reads over her shoulder. It's a trap, of course, but also an opportunity to end this. Vale crosses arms. We're not letting you go alone, non-negotiable. He said alone, and you believe him, he'll kill you, then us. We finish together. Drummond nods. We're Pack. We hunt together. Die together if necessary, but we don't abandon family. Wren feels her chest tighten. These men, willing to die for her, with her, because that is what family does. All right, together, but we do this smart. They gather around the map, begin planning. The final hunt, November 1st, dawn, a windmill, 2 snipers, 1 battlefield, only one will see sunrise, Netherlands. November 1st, 1944. 04:47 hours. The windmill rises from frozen marsh like a skeletal finger. 400 years old, stone crumbling. Wooden veins locked by time. War has stripped its purpose. Now just monument. Tomb. The marsh is flooded. Water black. Ice forming at edges. Cold absolute. The kind that kills through hypothermia. Wren lies in that water. 6 hours. The cold stopped hurting 3 hours ago. Bad sign. Hypothermia setting in. Core temperature may be 93 degrees. She has 30 minutes before cognitive function degrades. 45 before fine motor control fails. She must end this soon. Through her scope she watches the windmill. 950 yards. Steiner is there. She knows with predator certainty. 800 yards left Drummond in ruined barn, Overwatch. 400 yards right, Vale invisible in frozen reeds. The plan, Wren draws Steiner out, takes the shot. If she fails, they're backup. Sky lightens, not sunrise yet, the promise of it, that gray hour of ghosts, movement in windmill. 3rd floor, Steiner awake, preparing. Sun breaks horizon. Golden light across frozen marsh. Steiner appears in window, 720 yards, closer than expected. He repositioned during night. Through scope, she sees his face clearly. Older than photos, weathered, gray at temples but calm, the face of a man who has done this 347 times. He scans the marsh. Professional. Patient. He will not find her. She is beneath water, breathing through hollow reed. Only eyes and scope tip above, both camouflaged. Invisible. She settles crosshairs on his chest. Range 720 yards. Wind 5 miles semaphore northeast. Her body temp 93 degrees and falling. Begins to squeeze trigger. 2 pounds. 3 Steiner holds up a sign. White cloth. Black letters. I see you. Ren freezes. Impossible. He cannot see her, but the sign is specific, directed. He lowers it, reveals second sign. Your father would be proud. Her heart stops. How does he know about Magnus Ashford intelligence? He researched her, using knowledge as weapon, psychological warfare, but Ren is ice, is stone, is death. She adjusts aim, squeezes, the rifle fires, 720 yards, 1.3 seconds flight time. Window shatters, signs drop, Steiner disappears, she cycles, bolt, waits, muzzle flash from different window, 4th floor, he's alive, relocated, firing, bullet impacts 3 feet left, close. Walking shots toward her. She submerges, moves underwater, surfaces, submerges 3 times, creating false positions, 4th surface, she sees Steiner leaning out, frustrated, searching. She's already aimed. Already squeezing, fires, bullet enters his left shoulder, high, not the kill shot, cold affected aim, but a hit, spins him, he falls back inside. Drummond on radio, hit confirmed, target wounded, 3rd floor, moving toward stairs. Ren makes decision, cannot stay in water, cold winning, body shutting down, 5 minutes before unconsciousness, she rises, every muscle screaming, stumbles toward windmill, Vale's voice. Urgent. Wraith, what are you doing? Finishing this. She reaches the base. Presses against wall. Listens. Footsteps above. Uneven. Dragging. Enters. Dark interior. Rusted equipment. Stairs winding up. Climbs. Rifle ready. 2nd floor. Empty. 3rd floor. Empty. Blood on floor. A lot. 4th floor. Steiner sits against wall. Rifle across lap. Left arm useless, blood-soaking uniform, face pale but eyes clear. Right hand on rifle grip, finger on trigger, pointed at stairwell, at Ren. They stare across 10 feet, 2 ghosts, both wounded, both knowing this ends now. Steiner speaks, English perfect. You are younger than I expected. You are older, he smiles, blood on teeth. War ages everyone, especially those good at it. You knew I was coming. Of course, I know you, studied you for months. You are like me, cannot resist the hunt, even when we become prey. Ren's rifle not aimed, yet to aim is to provoke. To provoke is to die. Why the signs? Because I did not see you, I guessed. You confirmed by firing, psychological warfare, first mistake. He coughs blood, perhaps fatal. Your father, Steiner continues, Magnus Ashford, trapper. Killed June 1942 defending Alaska. He taught you well, best American sniper I faced. And you are best German. Not anymore. You hit me. First person in 4 years, 347 kills, 0 wounds, until today, until you. He shifts, winces, subclavian artery severed, minutes left. We are the same. Kill from distance, make widows, create orphans, necessary monsters. We are not the same. I kill to save lives. Do we kill because we're good at it, because something in us enjoys the hunt? Be honest, Ren. Do you not feel alive when you pull the trigger? The question cuts deep, because part of her knows he's right. Part does feel alive. The savage joy of successful hunt. She hates that part. Steiner sees truth in her face. Nods. We are ghosts because we fear what we are. He reaches into pocket, pulls out photograph. Worn, creased, wife and 2 daughters, looks at it. Expression softens. I will not see them again. This was suicide mission, you or me. He slides photo toward her. When you kill me, and you will send this to them. Tell them I died well. Tell them their father was a soldier, not a monster. Ren stares at photo. The smiling family. I cannot promise that. Why not? Because I don't know if it's true. If you were soldier or monster, if any of us are. Steiner laughs. Wet. Dying. Honest. Most soldiers lie to themselves. You acknowledge the ambiguity. He looks at her. Expression tender. Paternal. You will carry this. All 312 faces. Every widow. It will be heavy. But you will carry it because you are strong. Stronger than me. I don't feel strong. No one does. Strength is continuing despite fear and guilt. He shifts. Raises rifle. Slowly. I am tired. Tired of killing. Tired of being ghost. Will you give me peace, soldier to soldier? He's asking her to kill him. To end this in mercy. I can wait. Let you bleed out. That is torture, not war. You are better than that. He's right. She has never tortured. Clean kills, always. She raises rifle, aims, center mass, heart. Steiner closes eyes, releases grip on his rifle. Thank you. And Ren, your team is good. The best I faced. They should be proud. Ren fires. Bullet enters heart. Instant death. He slumps. Last breath escapes. Long sigh. Relief. Release. Silence. She kneels, checks pulse. None. Gone. 347 kills, 1 death. Picks up photograph, studies it. The family that will never know truth. Monster or soldier. The line nearly invisible. She pockets it. We'll send it. We'll give them that mercy. Veil on radio. Wraith status. Target eliminated. Steiner is dead. Confirmed. It's over. But it's not over. She will carry this. All 312 faces, all the weight, and she will continue. Because that's what soldiers do. She descends, exits windmill, stands in morning light. Drummond and Vale approach, stand with her. Brothers, pack, family, alive. Drummond says quietly, you're bleeding. She looks down, cut from reeds, scraped from stone, blood, proof still alive, still human. I'm fine. Are you? No, but I will be, someday. They walk back toward Allied lines. 3 figures in dawn, leaving windmill behind, leaving Steiner behind, leaving another piece of themselves behind. Victory tastes like ashes, victory in Europe. May 8th, 1945, war ends, Germany surrenders, guns silent, peace arrives like stranger. Ren in formation, medals, 312 confirmed kills, highest of any American sniper, beside her Drummond Vale. Garrett returned from England healed, pack complete, General pins medals, speaks of honor and sacrifice. Ren hears none. Thinking of 312 faces, of Steiner, of photo returned marked, address unknown. Did his family survive? Do they mourn? She'll never know. Reporters want interviews, the female sniper, the wraith, she refuses all, invisible again. Morrison finds her. You could be famous, a hero. I don't want fame. What do you want? To forget, to go home, to never fire a rifle again. Your records will be classified 50 years, public won't know. Good. Ghosts should stay ghosts. Alaska, June 1945. Ren returns to wilderness, to silence now filled with peace. At father's grave she speaks. I did what you taught, Papa, was patient, was still, did not miss, survived. Places flowers. I killed 312 people, they'll erase my name, and I'm grateful. Don't want to be remembered for death. I will not hunt again. Will teach instead. Help people survive through living, not killing. This is her promise, her atonement. Epilogue, Fort Benning, 1995. Sniper school teaches Ashford principles. Students don't know she was a woman. Just learn tactics written in blood 50 years ago. Alaska, September 15, 2005. Ren Ashford dies in sleep, age 89, peacefully. Beside bed, a letter, "Do not make me a hero. I killed 312 to save 2,400. But numbers don't tell the story. The story is in faces. The 312 I see every night. War is never good, never glorious, never without cost. I was the Wraith, but just a woman who learned to survive, then learned to live. Choose life. Always choose life." Normandy, present day. A small stone sits in wheat field. Grave marker. Not for German soldier, for ghost. For part of Ren that died in 1944 and never came home. The Wraith is dead. Long live the woman who survived her.